Hello everyone, this is CMDR Trium. We're just going to try loading the galaxy map once again and see if we can't get a crash result or if the game is loaded stably. Please stand by. Alright everyone, it's CMDR Trium. We're back once again. Recovering from a galaxy map crash. And we'll try connecting one more time. Anticipating that this is going to work out today, I can tell you that we are going to likely end up pursuing some merit points in the power play zone of Aisling Duval. And it looks like we have a good load. And it does not appear that our wingman is around at the moment.
Unsuccessful.
Sublime Order of Van Manen Star. This could be a... Yeah, we're not going to do that one. Okay, so let's have a look here. I think we're going to switch ships and go to our next most likely target. Looks like we have to go to, first, we have to go to our target in the LP64 194 system. So we will do that first. This is a interstellar factors location.
Ship restraints retracted. Follow the greens on your way out.
Landing gear retracted.
There is a ship entering the space doors. That's unfortunate. We took damage on our way out there.
Frameshift drive charging.
This is a white dwarf target, but we won't be using its abilities. We're Lima Hotel Sierra 262, jumping the ship.
Frameshift drive charging.
We are overheating, but not all that serious yet. Headed for long year survey. We have an expert Python. Provided this is the only ship, we will be able to take it out.
Hull integrity compromised. Scan detected.
Prepping fighter ready. Stand by. All systems are go. Awaiting orders. Commencing recovery, Commander. Stand by. down. Scanning for more threats.
Programming limit good. Programming limit good. Cargo suit deployed.
Commencing recovery, Commander. Stand by. Retrieval complete. Fighter bay is secure.
Cargo suit retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 2.
Music.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
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 Can you hear me okay?
I don't know.
Hang on a second.
Sounds like you got something running in the background, though.
I do, it's an air conditioner.
Ah, okay.
Here, try that.
Better, I guess.
Well, join the wing. Are you not paying attention?
I don't have a wing invite.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I'm looking at that tab right now, and it's blank.
Isn't that wonderful? So now their chat facility is all buggered again. Just amazes me how they can never seem to get this fixed. Hang on a second. There we go. So, I got an eviction notice today.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, it's real fucking wonderful. The landlord wouldn't even talk to me. She hung up the phone on me, claiming I was not being civil. I don't really understand that at all. I think she just hung up the phone on me. I don't think I was being uncivil, but anyway. I think I was being polite and whatnot, but apparently not enough for her liking.
Apparently your little old lady down below you finally cried and whined enough.
Yeah, well, she's pissed the landlord off enough, so... Hang on a second. Now this thing is all buggered here. There we go.
Okay, Commander, you are go for approach to pad 10.
So yeah, she files this. Well, it's actually not an eviction notice. It's a second notice in lieu of eviction. The third one, there won't be a third one. Basically, it's at that point it's an eviction notice, and if you want to appeal the decision, you have to go to the tribunal, and they provide a date on the form for your tribunal date. It's automatic, basically.
Traffic warning.
So.
Be on the lookout for other vessels
What I
in the
got
area.
today was I arranged for an attorney, something I've never done before in my entire life,
Landing gear deployed.
and I'm going to fight it. But I'm not very happy with the landlord.
This station operates under
She says she's doing it because she has to do it, because otherwise it seems like they're doing nothing, but I'm of the view that, you know what, the Landlord and Tenant Act of Ontario doesn't require that you evict people, no matter how much complaining one tenant does about the other. So they'll be asked to present their evidence. Their evidence so far consists of vague references to disruptive noise, and I'm slamming down the toilet seat a bit too hard for her liking, so it doesn't look very good from her standpoint on the surface of it. If that's the nature.
Slamming the toilet seat.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't. Everyone reacts the same way. It's just like it's the most absurd goddamn thing they've ever heard of. Like, the toilet seat's not made of neutronium, it's made of plastic. So, I mean, I would have to literally be slamming it, like, really, really hard.
To break it.
Hard enough to break it, and it's not broken, so.
fly smart, fly safe. Reduce your speed inside the docking bay.
So, there's that to deal with now, on top of everything else I'm putting up with in this life.
No, it might get better.
Well, I don't think that in the first, there was a guy who was running around committing acts of vandalism in the building, and it took 9 tenants to get him evicted, basically. 9 people all wrote letters complaining about him. And in the end, then finally the landlord had him basically turfed out. And even he was threatening about taking it to court, but as soon as it was apparent to him it was going to cost him money, he decided to back away from that. I, on the other hand, I don't care if it costs me money. I'm gonna take it to court. So, if I have to, you know, I'll use advice, I'll use legal aid or whatever, but I'll try to defend it myself. This guy, Martin was his name. He didn't really have a case. Like, he was guilty of virtually everything he was accused of, and it still took them a long period of time to get him thrown out. And finally he finally moved out. So that was, and it took 3 tribunal hearings and almost a court battle to get him out of here. So in this case, I don't think we're going to court right away, but I am taking legal counsel about how to proceed with this, just to make sure I'm handling everything correctly. Plus, I have an affidavit from my neighbor across the hallway saying that I'm not making any kind of extraordinary noises, that she hasn't heard anything in the time that she's been here.
If you just go down there, slip her some sausage.
Yeah, well, she actually came out. She came out. She saw me talking to my neighbor today outside, and she kind of looked up and sneered at me and went away. The landlord says she's evicting her too. Like, she's got an eviction notice on her as well. But I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if I shouldn't get the tenant. Starting to wonder if I shouldn't get the tenants to sort of think about maybe having some complaint letters about her harassment of them. She virtually every chance she gets, she tries to get tenants to get, you know, agree with her and get them to all to evict me. Like, she's campaigning to have me evicted throughout the building. And I'm just like, well, you know, she got one tenant actually to corroborate the fact that she heard noises and that she thought it was coming from my apartment, but that was one instance, one time only kind of thing. Maybe twice, and not in the last month. So where this is all coming from, I don't know. One thing Martin didn't have is Martin didn't have anyone on his side, but I'm thinking, you know what, as soon as I can afford to, I might just leave anyway. But I want to leave on my terms, not on this fucking crazy old hag who lives below me. I mean, she's just being unruly and difficult. And quite honestly, if the tribunal finds in my favor, I don't know what the property management company will do. They might just evict her, try getting her out. Because they've, according to them, and I quote, we've had it with you two. And I said, well, you invited me to start writing you letters. Like, I wasn't complaining. In fact, at the header of every letter, the first paragraph says, I'm only doing this because you asked me to. So, otherwise I wouldn't complain at all. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess the landlord, from their perspective, they could always deny everything, and they could just say, no, he did it of his own volition. And it's like, no, that's not true. But, you know, until we get into a game of they said, he said, I hope it doesn't come to that, but you never know. I don't trust my landlord, and I certainly don't trust the old lady to be operating on good faith. I think she would lie to get rid of me. She threatened me after I moved in here to, like, have me moved out. So she's been, ever since then, she's been on a campaign to try to get me out of here.
What'd you ever do to piss her off?
I disagreed with her about where to park my scooter.
Do you have authorization to be inside?
It's right below her window, but that's the parking spot I was assigned by Sentinel. So, anyway, and it's hard finding a building where there's an outlet, you know, where you can plug something in outside the apartment block. It's not the easiest thing to do. You'd think in Canada, you know, with block heaters and whatnot being a necessity in some provinces, that you would have that, but you don't have it in Eastern Ontario. You don't see that in Eastern Ontario, whereas you would see it in Winnipeg. But all I need is a place to fucking plug it in. And failing that, I need to be able to take the batteries up into my apartment. And the landlord doesn't want me to do that because she says, "Oh, it's chemicals inside your apartment unit, and it's against the law." It's like, well, I kind of question the legal interpretation that I'm getting from the landlord. They said it was illegal to record conversations that you're having on the phone, and although it's certainly in Canada and the US, this is one of our differences between our two legal traditions. In Canada, you cannot record, you can't present evidence in court that was recorded without permission of the other caller. You're not allowed to do that. But it doesn't, I don't believe the law prohibits you in any way from recording someone else on the other end of your phone. If you choose to make a recording of a phone call, that's up to you. How you use it, I mean, is another matter completely, but it's not against the law to do. You're not violating anyone's privacy. If someone's on the phone with you, well, they're on the phone with you. There's no expectation of privacy that's reasonable, so. But I'd have to double check my facts on that to be 100% sure. But that was what it was at least a number of years ago. But you can't present evidence like that in court because you need the consent of the other party before you can present it in court as evidence.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna agree to it because it might be condemning to them.
Right, but in the United States, that is the law, right? So in the United States, you can take a recording of someone without their consent, and you may present it in the court. It's admissible, but in Canada, it's not.
As long as it's not taken in a select few places where basically your expectation of privacy exists.
Yeah,
like in the bathroom.
It's presumed in Canada that you always have an expectation of confidentiality, that if someone's going to... See, in our legal tradition, you're supposed to... In the United States, you have a separate process for disclosure. In Canada, it's automatic. Like, you don't have a disclosure process, as far as I know. You just... I mean, the two attorneys have to get together, and they have to try to mediate, and they have to try to... and then, if that fails, you have to disclose everything. Otherwise, it's not admissible in court. There's no such thing as a surprise witness in Canada. You can't have a surprise witness in Canada. You either get the witness and they're either on the list and they've been fully disclosed, or they're not. And if you ask me for the reason why that is, I think it has something to do with just basically using court time efficiently so that you don't have to worry about appeals processes and things of that nature. It's all disclosed ahead of time. The only basis for an appeal in Canada is an error in law. So if a court reaches a decision, it's considered final here, unless you can point to a error of law, which isn't that hard to do. Like, it's possible almost always to find an error in a case that someone's made somewhere, because people are not perfect. But you have to make bloody sure that you've got a case that there has been an error in law, and then that becomes the basis for the appeal. So, it's a little different. Anyway, different countries have different rules for their courts, I guess. But...
yeah.
So I'm going to go down and... well, first I'm going to clear off my anonymous access here.
That might be a good idea.
I don't know where it comes from. Interstellar factors. All fines combined. I'm getting a lot of fines lately. Bounty vouchers. Yes. Got a lot of bounty vouchers. Interstellar factors contact. Okay. We have credits.
Unsanctioned acts of aggression will not be tolerated. Obey state law and enjoy your
Ooh. What's after expert? Dangerous in combat rank?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. You mean you don't know?
Nope.
How can that be?
Well, pay attention to everything.
What?
I don't pay attention to everything.
Well, I guess I could see that. And I'd know what the hell you were talking about if I was paying attention to you. Okay, so... Hey, we can go to the Alpha Centauri system for 4.4 million. There's just one problem with that. The Alpha Centauri system is spread out. Ooh, you know what? Let's have a look at the Alpha Centauri system, because we know of a couple planets in that system now. There it is, Alpha Centauri. Liquid water is discovered by spectroscopic methods in 2038 in the Alpha Centauri system.
Wow.
We'll see about that. It might actually happen sooner because I think they're planning on one of the first targets of the new telescope is that they're putting in orbit the what is it? The James Webb. It's supposed to have the ability to detect water on planet surfaces in the Alpha Centauri system. And then we'll know if it's there or not. Sure enough, they've got a planet here. It's Planet Eden. High metal content. 2,213.29 atmospheres. Iron magma volcanism. It is 99.9% water. Composition 70% rock, 30% metal. It is 0.66 Earth masses with a gravitational pull of 1 G approximately. That conforms with all that we know about Proxima b. What's currently called Proxima b in the Alpha Centauri system. Stellar component C, Alpha Centauri system, Planet 1. Well, the gas giant in Avatar, called Polyphemus, in this game is called Lagrange. It's a Class 1 gas giant. It has a moon. However, the moon is atmosphereless. And the name of it is not Pandora, it is 2042L1. Ooh, nice. There's a metal-rich body there with 1.0% polonium. That's exactly where I need to go, actually, for my next surface mission. I need polonium badly. So we'll be visiting Alpha Centauri. Well, I can get 2.5 million by visiting the Lug system 80 light years away.
I'm looking at all the stuff, all the stored modules I got, trying to figure out what I actually need and what I can get rid of.
Huh.
Avoid collisions at all costs.
The purple ring of LP 64194. Accidental extinction in Delta Pavonis.
How did they accidentally extinct something?
Well, it's when you commit genocide by accident. There's some good missions here, but oh, I guess so. We have 15 hours to complete these missions. Total of about 5 million credits worth of passenger missions. Okay, well, let's see what we got for a remote workshop here that we can do. Nope, we need conductive components. And then after we're done, we must visit Aisling Duval's nearest outpost, which will be I don't know. Did she contract?
I don't know.
I think she might have contracted. Hang on. The Freyan system is 172 light years away. The Renapa system. $176. Jesus Christ. It's the Renapa system. Hang on here. Oh, sweet God in heaven. Oh, there's one. 100 light years. $101. The Wicca system is 100 light years from my current position. So it looks like we'll use that one. Seems to be the closest. This isn't the last. Is today the update or tonight the update?
Today's Tuesday.
Oh, I thought it was Wednesday. Jesus. Okay, good. Oh, for heaven's sake. This is lame.
Now that you're sleeping, I'm not.
Okay. Let's go to LP 64194. Stand by. LP 64. Yeah, today was a shitty day. I also lost cell phone service for a little while this morning.
Why are you losing cell phone?
Oh, I didn't pay my bill, according to them. Manufactured is in the Malay system. M-E-L-I, the Malay system, beg your pardon. Malay. Material trader at Witston Hub.
Blocking the docking bay access corridor is not permitted. This starport will not allow such intolerable behavior.
$243.8 million credits.
Good for you. I'm approaching 35 million credits.
No, that's the price of a prismatic shield generator. Don't know if I actually want to go and buy that right now.
When ready, Commander.
What class? 6?
Class 8.
Oh, I need a class 7.
That's 77 million.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's better than I thought it was. It's only twice the amount of money I have.
I've got 274 million. I could buy this generator, but I still have 30 million in the bank.
"23 light years." Oh yeah, I have Burnham bile distillate. Any idea where I can sell that or what it's for?
No clue.
I don't even know how the hell I got it, but it's extremely valuable. It's listed here at 8,466 legitimately per. It's illegal, so I need to go to the black market.
All clear. Goodbye, Commander.
Frameshift drive charging.
One thing you don't see very often in big ships are black markets. I've been looking for a black market for a good long while. That's why I'm getting anonymous mode on all my ships. I'm carrying around this illicit cargo with me.
Just get rid of it, then.
Card terminal black market. Actually, we'll do that. Thousand light seconds. It's on a planet surface, and then we gotta go elsewhere in this system.
Landing gear.
Unless there's a material trader on this base. Do you know when the next Game of Thrones season starts?
No clue, don't watch it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh! It's a good mining location here, I think. And you got a conflict zone. Geez, I could spend some time in this system actually and get a whole bunch of shit done. Melii 5A. Oh, there's a base here called Farmer Keep. Something tells me that there's not a lot growing on this planet, though. It's kind of green and brown and gray in color. I mean, I suppose if you have a dome city, you could grow whatever the hell you want, but...
Orbital flight engaged.
Pretty close. Three-quarter impulse.
Holy smokers. We've got quite the view of a big blue gas giant off the horizon of this planet.
You are required to do so, Commander. Request denied.
Very scenic.
To 7,500 meters. Approved for access. Make your way to landing pad number 08.
Wow, that is scenic. Just love the game and its scenery.
Landing gear deployed.
I'll take a picture of that when I take off.
Docking confirmed. Dispatching ground crew. A warning, Commander. Civil war is plaguing this system. You may
Pretty tough shock.
Ooh, civil war in this system. Yep. I'll go over here.
Actions committed on federal grounds are punishable by death. Abide by our law regulations.
You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say you could probably go inside the space and walk around.
Maybe.
Well, you definitely could, because my camera is able to walk down the hallway. I mean, it's all blurred out because I'm inside of a wall from the game's perspective, but...
Pilots, proceed quickly and safely to your designated landing pad. Protocol breaches will not be tolerated.
Like, they got the floor of the tower and everything already prepped to, like, have consoles and everything just basically put inside. So if you had access, you'd be allowed to walk in there.
Maybe that's one of their features for when they finally give you space legs.
Yeah, but we're a couple years away from that, at least.
Oh, you design a ship ahead of time, so that part's done.
That's what they said that they did. Was, I mean, they said space legs is not in the foreseeable future, but the foreseeable future is like a couple years at most. Probably not even. If they got the Doom engine, the Doom virtual VR engine, they'd be able to like easily integrate space legs into this game.
Welcome all travelers to the Federation. For the safety of all visitors, be sure to pass through access controls before disembarking.
Okay, so what we have here are the following. Yeah. We get use of donated human body fluids in the distillation process for this potent liquor causes a strong variation in flavors from vintage to vintage, and widespread outcry about the ethics of the production. The producers of the drink report that each slave used agrees to the extraction process, but this has not stopped some from having a bitter taste left in their mouths. It's a description for Burnham Bile Distillate. It's a narcotic. Legal. Except when you harvest it from the broken hull of a ship like I did, and it's illegal. Okay, our illicit cargo has now been sold. We do not have a material trader here. We will take some limpets. Okay, and we'll upload a screenshot saved. Okay. So that was just uploaded to our website automatically whenever I take pictures in the game. It's automatically uploaded to our website.
Oh, okay.
So I just took a picture, so it was automatically uploaded.
Coupler disengaged. Clear for departure.
Landing gear.
Landing gear retracted.
Card terminal, but we need the base. Witston Hub.
You are clear of the port. Safe travels, Commander.
Okay. Let's just have a look here and see which factions are loyal to the Federation. The Confederation of Dahan, Union of Melii Progressive Party, okay. My screen is filled with blue because I'm traveling right next to a giant, a blue gas giant. Neptune class, but it's massive. Well, it looks massive. I wish they would let you travel inside gas giants the way they did Elite 2 Frontier and Elite 2 First Encounters. Well, Elite 2.5 First Encounters. Cat, fuck off!
Request dock.
Commencing fighter deployment. Numerous enemies to choose from, Commander. Let's make our shot count. All systems are go, awaiting orders. Target destroyed.
Oh boy, what's on this battle? Somehow I must have accidentally shot someone because now all the targets are red. and my fighter was blown up. So I had to abandon that. Well, that was annoying. I was having quite a nice little battle there.
$162,000 or 162 million credits for 8A thrusters.
So you're upgrading your ship past where it was before.
Yeah.
So that means it'll be even tougher than it was before.
I'm still debating if I want to spend 234 million credits on a shield right now, if I should buy thrusters and other bits and pieces and parts.
Yes, decisions.
I guess it'll actually cost me 148 million, which will leave me like 130 million credits.
It sounds like someone has a knife out.
What?
It sounds like someone has a knife out at your end.
No.
That or they're shooting something. Oh, that someone might have been chopping something up. Closing on Witston Hub. Melii 6. This is another gas giant. This time, instead of blue, we have a lovely hue of beige. And this is a nice big super Jupiter planet. So, do you think we should send a bunch of probes, like nanoprobes, to Alpha Centauri? It would take about 40 years, well, 20 years for them to get there, 40 years to return data about what's in the Alpha Centauri system.
Why?
Well, because then we'll know what's there. Presumably.
If humanity survives that long.
40 years? I hope so. Basically, they just get a bunch of probes that are microscopic and wafer thin in size, and they send them. They use a laser to propel them to near light speed, so that they're going like whatever 0.6, 0.7 the speed of light.
And then they're going to run into an random floating asteroid or something.
Well, not the theory. The theory is, though, there'll be lots of them, so they won't all hit something. Like you put 100,000 of these things out there. Some of them are going to make it. Or sorry, no, they don't go 0.7. They go 0.3 the speed of light. And then, when some of them arrive, they network with each other and start returning data back to Earth using microtransmitters and whatnot. Apparently we have the technology to do this pretty close to now, so some scientists want to do it. But I think the government's going to have to fund at least part of the project. But I think it's a good idea.
Complete waste then if the government has to support the project, because then it comes out of my paycheck.
Well, you understand, of course, that government, this is what governments do, right? Like, never in human history has there been an exploration project undertaken without a government sponsor. That was true for North America during the colonial period. Spain and Italy mostly financed the exploration of North America. Of course, the British ended up with it, but the point remains that you don't get exploration done without government money. So if it's going to happen at all, it needs government money.
Access granted. Adjust heading for approach to pad 02.
I say we let other world governments handle it. The United States government, we're already busy enough.
Oh, how isolationist of you.
Well, that's a good theory.
Yeah, but the United States has a responsibility to be part of the world community. You can't just offload all of your expenses onto the rest of the planet.
What size thrusters are in your Anaconda?
Huh? What?
What size thrusters does an Anaconda have?
Class 6.
They got a Class 7?
Class 6.
Class 6?
Class 6, yeah. 6A.
Class 6 is as high as it gets right now.
Well, hang on. I might have a Class 7 thruster assembly, but I have Class 6 FSD. So what do you mean by engines? The main drive is to my mind, is the hyperspatial drive. That's a Class 6. But
The thrusters.
The thrusters are Class 7. But here, I'll tell you in just one damn minute.
Landing complete. Welcome, Commander.
I'm just going into the hangar right now as we speak. For internal, we have Class 7D thrusters right now. I can go up to Class 7A.
I'm wondering if I should keep my 7B thrusters around, keep them in storage, or if I should trade them off.
Well, I think you should get 7 and 7A thrusters if you can, because 7Bs, they're way too heavy. They're going to
I was
impact...
thinking about jumping to an 8A thrusters.
Or whatever. Yeah, I guess you can go to 8A. Well, it's either 8... Your next step up is either 8D or 7A, 8D is your next immediate step up. But if you can go to 8A, then why not?
I'm debating if I should save the 7B thrusters or not.
You could have them around. It doesn't cost you anything just to put them away for a while.
Yeah. I just bought or just did that, so we'll see.
Yeah, you can sell them later. They get the exact same
I
amount.
still have 111 million credits.
The only thing is, you shouldn't be buying shit at Cubeo. You should be going to Leon Rui.
Why?
He sells things cheaper, and when they get to be hundreds of millions of credits, you will save money.
But that means I have to make a long-ass trip to get anywhere.
Oh. What's your maximum jump distance?
I don't know, 30 if I'm empty.
Well, that's not too bad. It wouldn't take you that long to get to Yongrui's nearest base from where you are. It wouldn't take that long. His nearest control world, I don't think, is all that far. It's probably less than 100 light years from you. So, here's what we're doing.
Try 186 light years.
No, that's his home world.
No, that's on orbital. The closest system Closest Leron UE system to me that sells 8A thrusters.
Oh, well, that's different. That's,
EBDD.
yeah, that's different.
Huh?
Aha! What do I need? I don't even know what I need right now. We've got lots of stuff. The remote workshop. To get my pulse lasers upgraded, I need conductive components. Let's get some of those. Where the hell? Conductive components. Would you like some conductive components? Oh, they're class 2. Here, let's have some precipitated alloys. Or maybe a chemical distillery. There, we've got 10 of them now. But we need a few more because we... Ooh, chemical processors. 6-to-1 conductive components.
Landing gear.
Here, we'll put... chemical processors. There we are. They're useful for something. I knew they were. Okay, now we have 20 of those. No, 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 don't do that. I want you... Oh, good. 20 of those. And now we have ceramics and polymer capacitors. Oh no! 12% increase on thermal load. Okay, so now we need polymer capacitors. Polymer capacitors. Class 4. Well, here's what you can do. Take your thermic alloys, no, take your heat vanes and shove them up your ass. high density composites. Take one of those. And we will take filament composites. Oh, shield emitters, there we go. Shielding sensors, okay. Okay, so now we have that. And compound shielding. And 10. So now we have 10 polymer capacitors. Oh, you are still there.
What?
What?
What? What about your underwear?
Did you get a wing invite?
Say what?
Did you get a wing invite?
I don't know. I'm in Defiance at the moment.
Well, I guess that fucks that up nicely. Okay. Let's go here. Allegiance.
And it's not showing me that you sent me any wing invites.
Hang on, it expired, so give me a second here.
Usually, even if it expires, it'll tell you that they tried sending you one.
Well, it didn't, so just give me a minute here. There, I sent you another one.
Still not showing anything.
How about this? Oh, that worked.
I'm gonna get interdicted.
I don't think so.
No, I am getting interdicted right now.
Oh, at the same time I'm inviting you to join my crew.
Yes.
Which would actually... what would that do?
I don't know.
If you join my crew...
Well, what the fuck? I just accepted your crew invite.
Okay.
And then it didn't do anything?
Apparently not. Because now you're not here.
Incoming message.
There, try that.
God damn it.
Okay, so now...
God damn you, stop fucking following me.
Configurable components. Now we need configurable components to boost our shields. Okay. Nope.
Motherfucker, stop interdicting me.
Shards.
So what time you guys is coming home?
We're about 8-ish, I would imagine, like normal.
Well, it's
I don't know,
7
Marie.
or 9.
I don't know. She said that they're doing a double class now.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if that started tonight or tomorrow. Oh. I go to bed. I'll make sure she gets home.
Do I have to?
Well, I worry about that kid walking home.
Yeah.
Especially over by the bar. Other than the garage, you know.
Yeah. Fucking cold.
These bottles for some odd reason.
What?
These bottles for some odd reason.
Yeah, so we can refill them.
Okay. Well, they're in the garbage now.
Okay. Good night.
Okay, so now we have... power contact. Cat, I swear to God, you're gonna be dead.
Request dock. Request dock. I'll be right back. I'll find me something to drink.
Okay.
Are you still there, Trium?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Oh, I have
Now
a
that
bond
I'm in
here.
a safe spot, let's try that whole wing thing again. See if you got it figured out. Landing gear.
Wing transmitted. Carol Kelly sightseeing adventure and $14 hours. 9 hours. No go on the invite.
I'll send you one, see what happens. Invite to wing.
Yeah, no problem. There you go. It says unknown, but
Apparently the whole wing system is
Coma disconnected.
hello.
yeah, the wing system is buggered. As soon as I switched voice comms off for wing, it disconnected the wing, so you can't have wing voice. It just won't work. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, we gotta go to the luge system. Oh, wait.
Is it showing that you're in a wing right now?
Nope.
I was gonna say. Oh well. Yeah, these thrusters seem to make a hell of a difference in this ship.
I'm sure they do. Okay, hold on a damn minute. I need contacts. I need bonds. You're kidding. I have to donate all my bonds at the other place. That's lame. Okay, we're ready to launch, and that means we have to select a course. Galaxy map, please. The luge system, please. Holy shit. The system's full of star bases.
My rebuy cost is up to 21 million now.
Holy shit. Oh. Oh. For God's sake, for me to travel here now, I need to have a fuel scoop. Oh, for God's sake. outfitting for internals. Optional internal, beg your pardon. Fuel scoop for a 2.8 million. Sold. Gave up the interdictor for that. Launching. We got 2 white dwarf jumps, so I'm saving 4 jumps by doing it this way. I can now make the Luke system inside of 3 jumps.
Ship released. Departure authorized.
Because I can go as far as my Diamondback Explorer now. Inside my Anaconda.
You got 50 light year jump now?
Yep. With a white dwarf.
Frameshift drive charging.
But I've got passengers with deadlines, so
Request dock.
we'll just do it this way.
You are clear of the station. Until next time, Commander.
Hyperspace engaged. We are arriving at White Dwarf number 1 of 2. And this is a white dwarf star whose surface is made out of the exact same material as my toilet seat, apparently, that being neutronium.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Because, as we all know, everyone loves to have toilet seats made out of neutronium so they can piss off their neighbors. Yes? Yes. Oh, after this we have to go to BD65 210. Yeah, BD65 210, Planet 7.
Frameshift drive charging.
we go. Medium security white dwarf coming up. Lighten 145, 141.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
Frame shift supercharge achieved.
Frameshift drive charging.
Jumping to the luge system.
I need to upgrade my power plant eventually.
Mission critical message. Fuel sending. Fuel sending disengaged.
We have to go to Hartsfield Market. Target lock achieved. Course laid in. Engaging engines at flank speed. This is a habitable world, Earth-like environment. Blue-green. World name is Tirnalug.
Landing gear.
So 65% water to 55% landmass.
Hard point.
These Orbis stations with the two habitat rings towards the back, like behind the starport. They don't get much light, eh? I'm not sure it's a very good design. Because plants are not going to grow in an environment where there's no light.
Well, that's why they got to point it towards the star.
Well, they don't, though. They pointed at the planet, and they use the planet's reflected light to illuminate the station. But the star is actually behind the space station towards its rear. So, like when I look at...
Well, maybe that's on... Maybe that light's got too much radiation that kills the plants.
Well, it looks like a G-yellow star, but I don't know. G-yellow stars...
On to protect it.
No, I mean, that's what the shields are for. But either way, there's not, like, if you look at the habitat rings, they're largely dark. Now, they are spinning around with the rest of the space station, so, of course, they do get some light, but not very much. And you would think they need more. They're plants anyway, they're immune to radiation. Bet you didn't know that.
I find that hard to believe.
It's true. Plants do not have cancerous tumors. They are virtually immune to radiation. They use radiation, in fact, to grow. In part. That's where UV comes from. Well, of course, all radiation is. It just means particles being emitted, right? It's what kind of radiation that really matters. But yeah, it takes a lot more to kill a plant with radiation. I mean, you can eventually kill a plant with radiation. Heat is a form of radiation, so obviously you could incinerate a plant that way, but they're basically, like, as from a human perspective, biologically they're more or less immune. They cannot be killed the way a human can. It's one of the reasons that they want to try genetically engineering lichens to grow on Mars, because Mars is a thin atmosphere. There's lots of radiation that makes it through the atmosphere, but it won't kill the lichen. Of course, it is further away from the sun, so there's automatically less radiation than there would be here, but point remains.
Services at the starport are constantly being updated. Remember to visit every time you pass through the system.
We have to go to Luke Victory, not this station. Why did it say go to Hatfield Market then?
We would like to remind all commanders to avoid blocking access to docking pads during arrival and departure.
Courtney Preston, I've acquired new data for the next system and updated it to your panel. Hartsfield Market.
The pilots, please show consideration for fellow visitors. Slow down and maintain a reasonable distance from other ships inside this dock.
I guess there must be a probe around here somewhere. I thought she wanted me to land at Hartsfield Market, but I don't think she does.
This is an important announcement. Security surveillance is in effect at the facility at all times. Any acts of aggression will be met with the
There's a lot of ship traffic here.
Request dock. I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Stand by for deployment, Commander.
Mission objective complete.
Telepresence control taken. She's in my hands, Commander. Okay, Commander. I've got the stick. Taking control of the fight. Waiting for orders, Commander. Commander. Stand by. Fighter is on board, Commander.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just looking at the starport right now. I'm 22.6 kilometers away because the target that I had to scan was that far away from the starport. And I can see where the sun is shining on the interior side of the habitat rings. And they're only about 1/10 maybe
Landing gear.
covered with sunlight. So there's not a lot of sunlight there. Here, I'll take another picture. Come on. Time for a new picture. There, I took a couple more pictures. You can have a look at them if you want. But you can see on the interior side of the on the interior side of the habitat rings where the sun is shining, and it's not very big. Now you're in big trouble.
Why?
'Cause I'm now 4 jumps away with 2 white dwarf stars in the middle from my next sightseeing target.
Why am I in trouble?
Well, I don't know. Why are you in trouble?
You're the one who said now you're in trouble. I'm just sitting here making money.
Uh-huh. That's why you're in trouble. And remember, in the words of Donald Trump, you're fired.
Good, because I got 117 million in the bank.
It's more than Donald Trump ever had available to him. He would dispute that, but in fact we all know that his real estate empire was built on a stack of wet tissue paper.
Frameshift drive charging.
He's got more money than you or I have, so it really don't matter.
He was able to borrow all of it. Almost all of it. So his liquid wealth might be great, but his actual assets, I'm not so sure. He lives high on the hog, no question. I still think he's squatting in the White House. He is squatting in the White House, just you wait. It'll all come out in the end.
Oh, well.
Hey?
It's not gonna bother me none.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Well, I just got spit out the other side of that particle fountain out of the White Dwarf. Victor 1201 Orionis. 50.1 light years jumping.
Frameshift drive charging.
This is one of the longer jumps I've had in the Anaconda. Not the longest, but one of the longer ones. Oh, there's a third white dwarf here. T, Lima Foxtrot Tango 214, 49.6 light years, jumping the ship. Jump. Headed for Planet 7. Approaching moon. We have to explore the ice geysers. You know what? I could take this ship into low orbit and then take one of my fighters out and go explore the ice geysers that way.
Maybe. Ah, fuck. Am I actually out of... No, I'm not out of staples. It was floating around his drawer.
Okay, ice geysers approaching. Mission objective completed. I can't even see the ice geysers from here.
Well, I just completely object.
Hey?
You said objective completed, I just said I completely object.
Yeah, well, we're about a kilometer up right now. Hang on. Stop.
Fighter is going live, Commander. I'm in control of the mothership.
Landing gear.
I just hit the ground in my fighter.
Can't land, they don't have landing gear.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the reasons. And then I engaged the thruster. That's probably what stopped me from dying. But I have 15% hull left. No inventory? Okay. Well, I can see my ship above there. But, yeah, I was spinning around something horrible.
Hard points.
Ooh. Here, let's just crawl into this geyser here. Oh, shit. The geyser quit as I approached. And now, I got hit by boiling water. Is there another geyser? Oh, there's another one. Gotta be careful here. I'm gonna crash into this thing. It doesn't like push on your fighter the way it does on your SRV.
What we said?
I said it doesn't push on your fighter the same way it pushes on your SRV.
What's that?
The geyser.
Geyser?
Yeah.
Oh.
The guys are shooting right into my windshield right now. That's not even...
Three-quarter impulse.
Oh, wait. It seems to be pushing on it a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay, so it pushes on your ship a little bit, but it doesn't push on it with the same, you know, same force that you would expect from a geyser. Okay, the geyser is over.
Roger that, Commander. I've got the fighter.
Okay. Recalling fighter.
Okay, Commander. Fighter en route back to Mothership.
Request dock.
So I'll be able to paint my anaconda tomorrow.
Wait, what?
I can paint my anaconda tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, my credit card comes back online tomorrow. I made a big, huge payment.
Brought down, Commander. We're gonna need to fix her up, though.
I don't even know what the balance of my credit card is.
Well, all I know is I usually run it up and then make the payment off. And I run it up again and I pay it off again. Except when I have a job, then I pay it all off. But I can afford to then too. But I always keep the limit very, very low. Like I only have $1,500 worth of credit because if I take it over that, the interest payment will drive it through the ceiling and I might not be able to make the payment then.
Yeah.
We Canadians are very, very responsible with our money. So they tell us anyway.
It's not the American way of spend beyond your means. And then collect welfare to make up the difference.
That's what it's there for. Geez, that's such an annoying comment to make. That's what welfare is there for, so you can pay off your credit, your overdue credit card bill. But you know what? In the United States, the banks down there are like way more generous with your credit rating than they are here. And you can get a credit card very easily in the States. I mean, I probably would be crapping credit cards out if I lived in the States, but in Canada, they look at your actual ability to make repayment, full repayment, if the push comes to shove. And that's what determines how much credit you have.
It's basically the same thing here, only a lot of credit card companies, since the laws are different, credit card companies can go after you and if you don't pay.
Yeah, well, they can come after you here, too. I mean, we have collection agencies that harass the shit out of you.
But the laws are different to where the credit card companies could take more risky customers here than there.
For example,
my credit rating's pretty decent, so...
Well, mine's not bad either. I just had mine assessed recently. It's okay. But I mean, you have to have like an excellent credit rating to get a credit card with one of the major lenders, like one of the 5 chartered banks, as we call them in Canada. These 5 banks were created by an act of parliament back about 150 years ago. And those banks are virtually unsinkable. Like, they're basically guaranteed, they're licensed to print money. Then you have the private banks like MBNA and whatnot that are from the United States and they want to do business in Canada, but they have to obey Canadian rules, so they still need to be very, very scrupulous with how they deal with credit. And if you can't make credit payments according to a certain formula in this country, you're just not going to get it, period. Doesn't matter what lending institution you go to. And it doesn't matter what province you try to do it in, they're federally regulated. So it's very, very hard, but there are ways around it. You can make security deposits and things that will give you access to credit cards, and that's also a way to build your credit rating, and that's why I've been building my credit up. Because every time you use a credit card, you're borrowing money, right? And that's why you're living beyond your means. In Canada, you're better off actually just putting down $1,500 whenever you can on a security deposit, which they put in a GIC, and it accrues better than market interest for the duration that you have the credit card. So if you ever want to cancel your credit card, you get like a huge payment out, and that payment covers your risk, so that there is no risk basically, and the bank doesn't have to collect anything off you.
Sounds like a savings account.
No, a savings account's a little different. A savings account is just raw interest at market value lending -2 or whatever. And you can't... Basically, there's no way to save money in a bank account situation, first of all. But you can't spend out of it the way you can a credit card. Like if you want to do online ordering or whatnot, you need to determine your risk exposure. And that also determines your security payment. Like how much do you want to put forward as a security payment? You are guiding yourself, you're directing yourself your own risk. Like how much money if the worst case scenario happened and someone got a hold of your credit card number, how much money they could take away from you at any given time. You're insured against it no matter what, but it takes time for that money to come back to you, right? So it doesn't happen just overnight, instantaneously you get a refund. You have to apply, you have to get, you have to say, okay, well this person didn't give me services or whatever, and you have to do a reversal of charges. Sometimes the reversal of charges doesn't even work and they still charge you anyway. Merchants that do that, and the only way out of it is to change the credit card number. It's a far easier thing to do without having a lending card instead of a... And you can't change your bank account numbers, can't be easily rotated either. Once you give someone access to your bank account, they can come and keep debiting that bank account forever. And there's no easy way to stop them.
All I have to do is call the bank up, tell them, yep, don't let them do it anymore.
Yeah, they don't do that here. They want to know why you haven't contacted the merchant to cancel the payment, and it's in the merchant's hands.
Oh, it's about time. Well, that's because there's so many shady merchants in this country.
There's shitty merchants everywhere. There's hucksters all over the place that think... I mean, just apart from the honest mistakes that merchants make, I mean, there's also the problem of, what happens if you have a huckster. They can just go into your bank account and they can debit. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, nothing. I've tried. I've been screwed over by that before. So I'm very careful about who I give my bank account access to now. In fact, the only way that someone gets my bank account number is if there's no choice. Like when I rented the apartment here, I had no choice but to give it up to the property management company. And in hindsight, now that I've lived here a few years, wondering if I should have even done that. Now, I can close the account down and open a new one, but that's a pain in the ass, and I really don't want to do that unless I absolutely have to. You want to keep bank accounts as long as possible because the service charges they get locked in when you create the account. If you keep getting new bank accounts, you're paying maximum on your service charges. So, anyway. But I'm sure that's true in the States as well as
I've had
here.
my account for like the last 8 years.
Yeah, I've had mine for about the some length of time, but I had one that was 20 years old a few years ago, and I had to cash it in because I was having cash flow problems, and I loathed that day because I had a fucking merchant that I owed money to, and I tried to get them to stop debiting me whenever they felt like it, and they just did it anyway. It was almost like being garnished. You don't want to get hit with a garnishment order either. I actually had the tax department in Canada. In Canada, the taxation department here has more power than the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to seize assets. And the RCMP here is the same as your FBI, basically, except with more power. They can pretty much do almost anything. They can bust your door down. They can do like all kinds of authoritarian things, but they have to respect the Constitution, of course. But I don't know. I'd worry as much about the FBI now. I'm more if I lived in the States, I wouldn't worry so much about the FBI. I'd worry more about the NSA, based on what Edward.
I don't do anything to attract their attention.
No, but if you ever did, they could fuck you over in ways you probably can't even begin to imagine.
Don't attract their attention. Don't do anything stupid.
Not everyone has to do everything stupid to attract the attention of the NSA. There isn't always a justification for that stuff. Especially where the NSA is concerned. In fact, if you don't believe me, just ask Edward Snowden. He was one of the people that was watching people that didn't deserve to be watched. And when someone like that steps out of line and says, look, this is what I was doing for a living and I had philosophical problems with it. I mean, for him to do what he did took an amazing amount of... I mean, he had to, basically his career is over. He has a new career now, but I mean, his old career was coming to an end. He couldn't live with himself doing what he was doing. And for someone to go through that kind of crisis in their own life is not an easy thing. You and I, we don't do anything that would ever amount to that. I've applied several times to Canada's, Secret Service, as you know. I've told you about that. And I've been interviewed by them a couple of times, and for whatever reason, I'm sure it had nothing to do with anything in my background, but it hasn't worked out for one reason or another. I think the most likely place where I could find a job is probably the Canadian Security and Intelligence Service, or CSIS as it's called, which works very closely with the United States NSA. In fact, they work so closely together that they actually had to have a formal agreement where they agreed not to spy on each other's citizens anymore, because that was one of their practices. The NSA used to use Canadian spies in the United States to do things that they weren't allowed to do. So they'd call up CSIS, and CSIS would send agents over the border to the United States to do their dirty work. I'm sure they did it with the Britons as well, or with other allied partners. But anyway, that's ancient history. That's old news. Mostly, what intrigues me about doing work for the intelligence services is all the cool toys they have access to. I mean, they have all the coolest toys. They really do. In fact, I can't even talk to you about all the toys that they have that are so fucking cool. But they really do have nice toys. I mean, wouldn't you want to work for the NSA if you could, like, get to play with all their cool gear?
No.
No?
I don't want to have to sit and do quadruplet reports on every time I have to use the restroom.
Oh, I don't think the bureaucracy's that bad, especially in the States.
Oh, it's bad enough.
Yeah, well, some government agencies don't have to do that, and the NSA, I suspect, is on that list. They probably get away with all kinds of shit still. They got away with some stuff. They're getting away with more than they got caught doing. I suspect. Of course, I don't have any evidence, but... And even if I did, I couldn't tell you about it. And if you had any, you could tell me about it, so...
I've got all kinds of evidence. It doesn't have to be real.
No, I suppose not. Just ask my neighbor.
Exactly.
I'm so glad, though, that my other neighbor is willing to sign that affidavit, if need be, to back me up and say that I'm not creating noise. Do you realize how much that strengthens my case against this old hag from downstairs?
You need to just bug her apartment so you can catch her in the act of being a deviant.
She still works. I can't believe she's 150,000 years old and she still works. Like she's got osteoporosis. She's like running around with a cane and like sneering at you and looks like, you know, the female version of Ebenezer Scrooge. But somehow she's still working in our foreign affairs department. Maybe that's got something to do with why NAFTA isn't working out. That's what we're hiring is into our diplomatic corps. Kind of explains why we're not getting along with people as good as we once did. Fucking horrible woman. Okay. Ooh. No. No, that won't do. Here, let's move over here. Aha! Oh, we're 2 jumps away. Well, that's neat.
Who jumps away from what?
Where we report to in order to finish our sightseeing missions. So now I can end my mission. I didn't realize we're so close to this planet. How the hell did we get so close to this thing? I didn't even use my my jump drive. I just flew. For the last 10 minutes I've been talking to you, I just flew above the planet. And I got far enough away from it that I could actually use my hyper jump, my hyperspace drive. "48 new objects discovered. Isn't that just wonderful?" Here we go. Here we go. It's the Goodyear survey. This is a space station where you buy new tires for your SRV. It's Longyear Station, a division of Goodyear Incorporated.
Landing gear.
Oh, that uses tires as well.
My landing gear does?
Oh, maybe not. It might when they open up planets to landing. They might let you they might require that you use wheels instead of skids to land at the
Just fine because you got vertical takeoff.
VTOL, yeah. I guess so. That's what those...
Now I want to take my SRV and drive across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let you do that. You'll get a ticket.
Oh, that's fine.
You'll get a ticket or something from the local city police.
No, I got that last night. Got my pickup and there's a fucking ticket on my windshield.
Oh, parking. Ding!
Yep. $10 parking ticket.
If you don't pay it,
They couldn't sweep the street there.
well, if you don't pay it, they'll send the mob after you.
Yeah.
They'll come break your legs because of America's collection laws. They allow them to break your legs if you don't pay your bill. I know that's not true. They'll just shoot you. Oh yeah, there we are. No, we mustn't confuse the United States with Nazi Germany, because the answers in Nazi Germany to everything was, we will take you out and you will be shot. That seemed to be their answer to every problem. If you did not cooperate, you will be shot. Okay, we're going to maxi pad 40. Oh, Lord.
What the hell is QQ07WW supposed to mean?
Well, don't you know?
No.
I have no idea. Where do you see that?
I just said it in local chat.
Maybe it's Latin.
Scan detected.
Who knows?
Quid quis custodia ipsos custodes. You know what that means?
Unless it rhymes with porno, I don't really think I want to know.
It means, and who guards the guards?
3,000 meters from touchdown.
You know how they say yes and no in Latin? You're gonna laugh. Yes is ita. Now what does that sound like?
Pizza?
Ita. The Russians shortened it to da. In fact, Latin, the colloquial way to say yes in Latin could have easily been da. Which is now yes also in Russian. And niet is no in Russian, but and of course no in Latin is non. Known.
God damn it, why do you have to keep trying to interdict me? I'm not gonna give you anything.
Just slip him the sausage. That's what they want. You're in a nice Imperial ship, they want the sausage.
Oh, they don't get the sausage. Because the dirty pirate butts aren't very clean. Interdiction evaded. Oh, yeah.
For the next 30 seconds. Then they want more sausage.
That's the problem with dirty butt pirates.
Now.
Can't give them enough.
It's not like the vagina is some clean instrument that we all have to worship. People urinate out their vaginal orifice, you know. It's not exactly sparkling clean. I just don't understand who designed the human body. Like, we're gonna have sex where we urinate and defecate. Okay. I think dolphins had a much better idea. The gay dolphins actually use the blowhole in the top of the head for males. That seems a lot more clean to me.
Well, or some monkeys.
Of course, I don't have a...
Their hand and fling it at you.
That's true. But I don't have a blowhole. In the top of my head, anyway.
You could have one surgically implanted nowadays. just claim it's some kind of sexual reassignment surgery. Request doc.
They'll probably allow me to put it on Medicare or something, or in the United States Medicaid, Obamacare. Yeah, I'm having sexual organ replacement therapy. It's part of my revised gender identity.
Well, when you have to fill out your job applications and it asks
male or female,
gender, you can say,
other.
you can say unique. Gender, unique.
Or I could start a new trend, and then it wouldn't be unique anymore.
I don't see a lot of people surgically implanting blowholes in the top of their head.
No, but technically it wouldn't alter your gender anyway, but, I mean, your gender's in your head. Your sex is your biology, but your gender is in your head. Are you male or female is part of your psychological identity, not your biological identity. Usually the two are in sync, but some people obviously get their wires crossed. It must be unbelievably difficult to go through that. I've only ever personally known one person to go through it, and it was hell for them because they grew up in the same small town as me, and it's not exactly... Small towns are not exactly known for their open-mindedness all the time. At least not in... At least not in Canada, anyway. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but... Yeah, that little redneck fever seemed to take over pretty good for anyone who's gay or transgender. And there weren't... I mean, with 10%, I think there's 300 people that were gay in my small town, if that holds true. Gay or bisexual. Although it's tough to say with bisexuals because bisexuals don't necessarily have to, they don't have to indulge in in having sex with the same sex if they don't want to.
Well, they don't even have to openly admit it. Any of them, whether they're gay, transsexual, bisexual.
But a gay person is it's a lot tougher for a gay person. Because a gay person, if they want to have sex or if they want to be socially accepted, like, you won't see them hanging around girls very often. I mean, some of them will do it just for show, of course, if they're extremely nervous about, their appearances, and it's been done for decades, but people still end up talking. Like, you can always tell, eventually, that this person might not be, well, not always, but often you can tell if this person has got a preference for the company of men or women. Especially if you know them personally, I think. That's just my own perception. Fortunately, I've been fairly open-minded about the whole matter, but I can't say that was the prevalent view in my small town. Quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. What is it with small towns playing on people's insecurities? Like
it's a good old boy mentality.
It's like they're big enough to, like, have a group of people to form group views on things, but they're not quite big enough to accommodate everyone or to allow people to blend into a larger anonymous volume of people.
Yeah, I think that's
I think it's...
At this point in time, I've made enough money tonight, I might just say screw it and go to bed. It's like 10 o'clock. I could actually go to bed early one night this week.
Yeah, well, that's my view as well, especially in lieu of Elvira downstairs there. Da, 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 da.
You're gonna have to go slam your toilet seat a couple times.
I think so. Well, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out and buy like a solid granite or neutronium toilet seat tomorrow just to piss her off.
Just go out and shit in her flower pots.
Actually, I'd like to take a shit right in the middle of her living room. Just leave a steaming pile of shit there for her when she gets home from work. Here you go. The old hag.
Start spamming her email and her phone and her mailbox. With all kinds of just random crap, signing her up for all the fucking crap you can imagine.
Oh, if I could...
She's got someone to talk to.
If I could hack her Wi-Fi... If I could hack her Wi-Fi, she'd never be able to see the internet ever again. I can assure you of that. Fortunately, I've got better...
Looking at dirty butt porn.
Fortunately, well, no, she's a little too... I mean, I don't think she has any genitalia left. I think she's just like... She's that old now that...
She's withered up.
It's withered away, yeah. I mean, when you get to be 900 years old, I think it starts to not work anymore. And she's at least halfway there, so... Oh god, I hate her. Anyway.
Avoid unnecessary destruction. Not drop access code.
To be pack on. To be pack on. To be pack on. 2E beam laser. 2E beam laser. That's what my Python is outfitted with.
Ooh. Well, I upgraded my lasers myself, but I didn't get a chance to use them. Oh, for God's sake. Stop it, stop it, stop it, move out of the way. Go, 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 go. Okay, we're at... How did we lose money here? I don't quite understand that. I think we're in net gain for the night, though. We got 2.5 million there. Plus we get cred with the Federation and everything, which is good.
You want me to bother telling you how much money I've spent?
Well, I made almost 4 million tonight, so I didn't do too badly. But I don't sit there and just go back and forth anymore either. If I want to, I could. There've been some runs that are not that far away from me that will pay out 5,000 credits per unit per hop. Well, not per hop, but per loop. So that's almost 4.2 million, I think, per loop in my freighter.
This station operates under adopting regulation policy. Ensure you have authorization before entering this department.
I don't know, I spent like about 165 million.
How much did you get back?
I made about 30 million tonight.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Did you gain cargo space, or... You were also playing for several hours longer than me. I didn't log in till almost 9 o'clock. Eastern.
I didn't log in too long before you did.
I've only played for 2 hours. 2 hours total tonight, so...
I've been in game for probably 4 hours, but I've also been playing some Defiance and doing other things.
Yeah, no, I haven't...
Break, and I figured out league scores for archery for tomorrow night. So, I mean, just because I'm online in game for 4 hours at a time doesn't mean I'm actually playing.
No, I suppose not. But anyway, I got to get going here, so I'll let you go on that note, and we'll talk again tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay. Good night.
Okay, have a good night. All right, everyone. This is we're at Longyear Survey in the LP 64194 system. We were doing passenger runs tonight. We did fairly well, but still not gaining money as fast as one would have hoped. So we'll likely end up going back to regular cargo runs one way or the other tomorrow, since that seems to be a more efficient way of building wealth, and we do need to build wealth at a slightly faster rate than what we've been doing tonight. Hopefully the amounts are there, otherwise we will in fact be back to passenger runs tomorrow as well. We also have to get some merit points out of the way with Aisling. I need to have access to the prismatic shield for at least 1 week longer in order to update my vessel. We also did several engineering upgrades tonight. That took quite a while. Forgot to mention that to what's his name there? The Squaddle. And we are at 44% Lieutenant in the Federation, 67% Squire. I think our next level is Knight in the Empire, so we're gaining rank very quickly in the Empire at the moment, but it will slow down in due course. We are gaining rank in the Federation, and of course the purpose there is to get access to the Corvette as reasonably fast as possible, but we're probably looking at a month or so before we can, at minimum, before we can start thinking in those terms, and that's if I dedicate myself to improving rank ahead of all other things, which is not the case since we have to upgrade the Anaconda. Quite considerably, actually. So, with that, we'll log off. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out the properties of this video for access to, or for the addresses to Commander Trium's blog and Twitter feed, where you'll find this library mirrored, video library mirrored. Also, don't forget to click the I like or the subscribe buttons, as the case may be, or the bell icon to the right is subscribe button in the standard YouTube interface, where that will give you a heads up in Google, a small little window giving a notice when I am producing videos and going live, or when new media is added to Commander Trium's video logs library. This has been Commander Trium on the 6th of June 3304, signing off. Good night, everyone.